Good morning. I'm John Schultz, the chef owner of the Lake Elmo Inn. In today's topic, we're going to talk about how to deal with whole chickens. A lot of you go to the store and you buy chickens already cut up, and you're paying a premium for them, and you don't get the whole benefit of the chicken. And what I mean by the whole benefit, I have two beautiful chickens right here in its grandeur. In the middle of most chickens, you will find a cavity. And in this cavity, you're going to find the gut, well, what we would call the guts. But it's the heart, the gizzard, the liver, and the neck. Great for stock. Great for appetizers if that's what you're into. Or stock. And then you've got your liver. Bacon wrapped chicken livers with a water chestnut called ramaki. Anything wrapped with bacon is a winner. So you have all those going for you, and you save them. So I put them in a pan when I clean my chickens, and you then are left with the whole chicken. So this is what you have. This is the whole chicken, and this is a good sized bird. So I know a lot of you are intimidated. I watch my aunts struggle. My grandmother, who was raised on a farm, and they would hack up that chicken, and I go, what are you doing? It took me a long time to understand that, but when I was a kid, that's the only way I thought that was to be done. You know, they might get 12, 11 pieces out of a chicken, and truly there's only 8. There's legs, 2 thighs, 2 wings, and 2 breasts. And yet my family could come up with 12 pieces. That just blew me away. So to cut this up, again, I'm going to go back to a principle, and I will probably harp on this. It's the knife. Whatever knife you are comfortable with. This one is a utility knife. This one is a nice knife, easy to handle. People enjoy it. You have your boning knife, which is perfect for this job. A French knife, you could do that with this, but you have to be comfortable handling something so big. And then you could use a cleaver. I'm not all that fond of the cleaver. It works, it's great. I love my old classic knives. And then you could actually take something really unusual. If you wanted to and just chop this in half, go at it. Be careful, make sure the knife's clean, and I recommend going back to the knife that you're going to be most comfortable with. And the boning knife is probably the right knife for this job, and that's what I'm going to use. Even though I like that little utility knife because it fits well, it's easy to handle. So here is the tailbone, and here is the backbone. It's right here. I'm going to give you a little quick outline by just pre-cutting it. That's what I'm going to cut out of this chicken. You grab a hold of it by the thigh and the leg, and you're going to go right down. Oh man, that was like butter. I must have been lucky to hit the right spot. It doesn't always come out that easy. Today, we're lucky. And then here, now you open it up. Here is the rib cage, or the chest of the chicken. And right here is cartilage. So you saw me pre-cut that, and you're going to go like this. And that takes that breastbone out. And now the cartilage, which is no fun to eat, mind you, is that piece right there. So then I pull off my fat, and that's going to go in. You can render that off and melt it down if you'd like to have that pure bacon or that chicken fat. So now you have your chicken. It's ready to go for you. See how beautiful that is? Now to cut it up into pieces. Just like that. And Mother Nature has given us the guide of where to cut and where not to cut. And this goes with almost any animal. If you're cutting into flesh, you're cutting in the wrong area. So here you have this distinct channel right here between the leg and the breast. Again, I did not cut any meat. Now the leg, there's an indentation right here. That is where you go and cut through. Look at how my knife just went through that without any pressure. You didn't hear any bones crunching or cracking that I was cutting bones. So now you got your thigh and your leg. And your wing, now the wing is going to be a little bit different for the fact that you might have to cut some meat because I did cut a little bit off of that breast. So now here's your wing. And this is just a habit. I always fold them over. And look at the size of that breast. The chickens today are just so big in this area compared to everything else. So when you're cooking chicken, you got to be careful to make sure this is done. They always tell you that the leg and the thigh take the longest, but what's going to take longer to cook? What do you think? Just because it's out of the same chicken doesn't mean that that breast is going to get done before this leg. This is going to take longer to cook. And you don't want to cook it too hard because you'll dry it out before it all gets done. So one more time, you got that seam in between the breast and the thigh and the leg. You just cut through it. You got that indentation. And if you just do that, you will see it. It's just that little concave mark, and that is your guide to where to cut. So now we got 2 pieces of each. And then how my family got 10 and 12 pieces, I know that they used to cut this in half, and they used to leave meat on the back of this, and they would cut that, and someone, if you're the smallest in the family, this is probably the piece you got. And I've been there. So anyway, this is what you do with chicken. And if you really want to get into the chicken, making these a little bit more friendly for you at home, there's that piece of cartilage right there. You take that and hold your knife on it and pull the bone. I got to make sure I do this. This is such a... And you pull that bone right off. That cartilage is already off. And then there's this bone right here that I try to take off so that no one gets that. You see it right there? You pull that out. That's half of the wishbone. And then here's another little piece that I feel. So I'm taking that off. That's going into my stock. I waste nothing. So here's the chicken breast. Now you buy chicken breasts in the store, and you're going to pay a premium. You could pay up to $6, $7, $8 for chicken breasts, whether it's skin on or boneless. And then you actually pay more for this little devil right here. If you can see him, that's the chicken tender. And people buy those in packages, and that costs a premium. So if you buy a whole chicken at one price, and this is the cheapest price you're going to get, sometimes you can get chickens that are already cut up cheaper, but generally you might find that it's almost all legs and thighs and very few breasts, because the white meat of the chicken is generally the most popular. But look at how big that chicken breast is. I'm not saying that that's always a positive thing, but it's just telling you how big the chickens are growing today. One more time on that cavity and taking out that bone, you put your knife there, and then you bend that over, you grab it with your knife, and you hold onto it. Oops. Now that one I didn't do very well. That happens even with us old veterans. Here's that tender again. And then I still have this little bit of a wing, this little wishbone and wing bone to take off. But now I can tell you that you can eat this without any bones or any fuss. And if you wanted to, you could take that skin off. I don't have any purpose for taking that skin off right now. So here's your tenders. Now you got a couple more pieces out of that chicken. And your wings, you can make buffalo chicken wings, deep fried chicken wings. You can barbecue these. You can cut them up. I'll show you another way. You can cut these up and make little drummies out of them. And that's what you got here, is a drummie. I'm just going to show you a little at a hors d'oeuvre. This is an old classical one. You pull that chicken down off of that bone, and then you have it. You have that little hors d'oeuvre like that people eat, and then there's really nothing in the tip of the wing that you can eat, and then you have the other part of the chicken. So you got all these little pieces that you can make. And taking the bone out of a thigh of a chicken quickly, this is the thigh bone, and then this is the part of the backbone that maybe doesn't come off, but you pull it off. Come on, there you go, and then you just pull it off, and then here is the thigh bone right here. And you just go down each side of it. You try not to leave any meat on the bone, because you're going to get rid of that, or it's going to go in the stock. And there you go. There's that thigh bone. And now here you have a boneless chicken thigh. And you can buy those in the store, again, at quite a premium, or you can do it yourself. The biggest thing is having confidence and feeling comfortable having the right knife. This is the most important thing. Again, this knife and this knife works very well for me. Something that's comfortable in my hands. But if you don't have a sharp knife, I've used this description before. A sharp knife, if you cut yourself with it, it's a nice clean cut. This is really an obscure way of looking at this. Nice clean cut, easy to fix. And I'm not promoting cutting yourself, but I'm just saying if it happens, it's easy to fix and take care of it without a scar. If you have a crusty old, dirty, jagged edged knife that's not very sharp, and you're putting extra pressure on and then you cut yourself, you're going to have a jagged, dirty cut. It's going to leave a dirty scar on you. You don't want that, trust me. So have a good quality knife. Make sure that it's sharp. And again, once a year, twice a year, go get them sharpened. It pays for itself. You saw how easy it was for me to cut this chicken. And with that, thank you very much. I enjoyed showing you how to clean and dress out a chicken.